I don't deserve to have fun. I need to be working.
I need to be working.
Need to or should.
Woo,
word
girl,
should.
touch that should.
I know. Don't be shoulding on yourself.
Don't be shoulding on yourself. Hey y'all, it's me, Abby Teal, and I am so excited to be here today with my very dear friend, Cherisse Hixon. And Cherisse, oh my gosh, like we've known each other for so long. We've been through a lot together, so much together. And we know a lot about each other's stories. And one of the things that we were talking about just the other day is, man, wish we could make space for women, especially women, to be seen, to be real, to be. And then you said the word. What was the word?
Restore.
Yeah, restore. To restore. And you said, and I want people to be. What's the other word?
Restored, refreshed, renewed.
Oh, and reset.
Reset.
And I was like, yes.
Yes.
So a lot of people know that in the last year, I was divorced and moved away from everything I know and everyone I know and started my whole life over again. Yeah. And your life doesn't have to be going through that kind of change to need a reset, but all of us, like just women,
daily
feel like if I'm not holding the walls up, the world comes crashing down. But before we go there, can you tell me a little bit about your own story? Do you want to share a little bit about like how you came to care about women who hold the world up?
Grew up here in Memphis, moved to Memphis when I was 11, which, you know, the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing that like 11, 12, 13, those are really pivotal times.
For sure.
In development. I feel like over the last decade, I have really started doing a lot of work.
And you're 20, so that couldn't be.
That's right. That's right. I'm only 21. You know, there is something different when you turn 40. A lot of things happen. A lot of things I think that you're able to push down, start bubbling up. But then I also think there's a spot where, and I've heard it said, like when you do reach a place of safety where your body says, okay, now we can start processing some of these things that you've pushed down for years. And so I think there was a little bit of both happening. Moving here, moving to a new state, a new culture was so different. We had moved from Chicago to Memphis.
Oh, wow. And it close.
Yes. And so I remember being like, where am I moving to? What is happening here? Also, again, like coming into a middle school where people had grown up with each other. So I think I was coming in going, who am I?
Yeah.
I'm 11 years old. I'm in a new city. I'm in a new state. And I'm the oldest. I have 2 younger sisters and a younger brother. And so really feeling like pave the way for them. Yeah. And so really trying to figure out who am I?
Who all open here?
And so having that opportunity to make friendships and find friends and still be learning who I was at the same time. And I'm grateful. God put some really great people in my life that laid that foundation of this is who you are. This is who God says you are.
Where is the God piece of your story? Where did that come in? And what does it mean to you now?
I think my mom laid the foundation for
your mom is cool. I love her. I love you.
Yes. She had us at Awana's every Wednesday night or whatever it was, and we'd load up the truck. Every neighbor kid got in the car. Because
her.
Again, this is probably my personality, but I got a candy bar if I brought friends. So happy.
It all makes sense.
I love some chocolate. And so, yes, I would bring all the neighbor friends and we'd go. And so I learned so much, like learning it, head knowledge, you know, learning the scripture and getting prizes.
Yeah.
For learning scripture.
We believe in some brainwashing now.
So I think at an early age, I learned like, wow, okay, I get praise and recognition when I do good. And again, learning God's word is always a good thing, and it never comes back void. So that was kind of pre-moving down here. So having the fun and the friends and having that foundation, but then moving here and it kind of becoming, or having that choice of what do you choose? Who are you? Who does God say who you are? And so I really feel like at that age,
what age was this?
11.
Yeah, I was 11.
Yeah. I walked into it finding friends who would like hold me in my faith and would walk next to me.
That's so young.
And I know. And it became because I was shaken. It was like I took everything away and said, you have me.
Oh, yeah.
You have me.
And I want to reach really intentionally right now and just say, if you don't have a faith walk, that's okay. This is not a conversation for folks of faith. This is the conversation for women. And so for you to be able to share this piece is really vulnerable. And we've known each other a long time, and you were a safe space for me. And I just want to thank you for that. When you're talking about how like your faith or your God story, or how like the universe or energy or the world has helped you to see that you belong.
And at that age, for sure, because I was asking myself that. And so as much as that was a really tough time, and like it really felt like a stripping away, now I can look back and know, wow, I felt alone, but I was held.
What I would like to posit or put out there as an opportunity is I would like to make a space right here, right now, where we kind of go back to that space where we're naked and unashamed. We ain't taking our clothes off. I'll be clear right now. We ain't gonna have it.
They don't want to see.
You don't want to know. This is the first time we've sat down to do this together, but I'm open to do this more times than this. I would like to be. I would like to do just practically some of that stripping away.
Yeah.
In the vein of honesty and vulnerability and stripping away. I would like to take my makeup off.
Okay.
And I would like for you to talk to me about what you mean when you have said to me that if you could say messages to women, they would be that you are free, you are valued, and you are loved. So, like, what does that mean to you? And I'm going to be doing the undressing.
Yes. It's great. It's funny. Can I tell them when you came in that I was like, you look so great. Okay, so since Abby said we're being real and vulnerable, so Abby comes in looking amazing and gorgeous. And I said to her, hey, I might actually be wearing the clothes that I had on 2 days ago because it's my favorite.
And that's the truth. That's what I was happening.
I walked in it. I might have slept in it, and then I put it back on again today. Because sometimes
you just do that.
Sometimes you just do. You have friends that it's okay to wear the same outfit.
God, that's freeing, isn't it?
Yes. You're like, she's not coming over.
I'd like to be clear. I didn't say anything about it.
No, she didn't care.
I recognize that logo.
Yeah, we have those things that just make us feel cozy. And I think it is such a cool space where you can be at that place as a woman where I can show up to the table as I am. I don't have to be all dressed up. I don't have to have every hair in place. I don't have to have this be perfect. I can come as my whole self, as my true self. I can come to the table that way and be loved and be seen and be valued.
What is it when you say seen? What are you saying?
I think the way that I internalize it, being seen for me would be like,
I'm getting it all.
Is showing up and having someone make me feel important because they see me. And so I in turn want to do that. I think all of us as women can know what it's like to feel invisible, and that hurts.
It does. Yeah.
And I think that when you've been in a place where maybe you've ever walked in that and experienced that, your heart says, never again do I want anyone to feel that way.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I want women so bad to know that they are seen.
So, like, when you talk about being seen, this is a really important piece for me. I don't know, you've ever heard of the 5 love languages?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I get it. I love that whole thing. It's a great teaching. You can either be like touchy-feely, and I'm very touchy-feely, or words of affirmation, say nice things to me, or quality time, spend time with me, gifts, which you give gifts like like you're breathing. And then acts of service. And for many years, acts of service was like, do something kind for me. And now, like, I think that I've transitioned. But I'm like, really, I'm in a different place where I'm like, I say something nice to me, just because I've got a lot of I'm gonna cry right now. But I've had some said wounds, and I need. It's kind of like when someone's put some really, nasty stuff in your life. You need a lot. You need to like flush that out with so many good things. So the more good, the better. So please say nice things to me. Comment. Say something nice. But I think there's a sixth love language. Can I tell you what it is?
Yeah.
I think it's acknowledgement. I think that when I don't need you, just be aware. Like if you walk into the kitchen and it's spotless and you put your dirty boots on the kitchen counter, I feel like you missed that you missed it. Like I did the hours of cleaning. In your experience, what do you think are the barricades to figuring out where you have joy? A lot of us are like, ask me what I do for fun, and I have to go, no, I haven't done anything. I know what my kids like. I know my husband's favorite color. I know what my best friend likes. I know what time they get out of school, what time their class is. But like, what's my happy? What do you think makes it hard for us to know what our joy space is?
I had a friend, the woman that met me a decade ago. She, it's a funny story, but she met me in a nail salon. And just plopped down next to me. And we got to talking. And she said, that wasn't that day, but she said, tell me what you do for fun. And I said, I work. She goes, no, really, what do you do? I was like, no, really, I love what I do. I work. And she's like, that's great. And she kept having to ask me, and I couldn't answer that question. Yeah. And I think that it was, and I think a lot of women like this, especially whatever, if you're a firstborn or whatnot, but firstborn girl.
Are you a firstborn?
Yes.
Yeah, of course you are.
I mean, so.
You're such a go-getter.
I was babysitting at 10 years old. I vividly remember this story of I'm 10 years old babysitting 3 young boys, and the mom was about to come home. I'm holding one kid on my hip, and I'm vacuuming because I wanted her house to be clean. I'm 10 years old. So it was like at 10 I started growing up, right? Probably wasn't the best thing, but apparently my mom wanted some money. I don't know. So I think from 10 until all this, it's like we push it down. Like, I need to be responsible. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to be responsible. And so it was like, I don't have time for fun. No time for fun. No time for fun. So I think the barricades of maybe I don't deserve that. Who has time for that?
Wait, say these slowly.
Right?
I don't deserve that.
I don't deserve to have fun. I need to be working.
I need to be working.
Need to or should.
Ooh, girl, should. Touch that should.
I know. Mm-mm. Don't be shoulding on yourself.
Don't be shoulding on yourself.
But I did.
You know, we're not shoulding here.
But I did. And again, I was people pleasing. And so it was always, what should I be doing for others?
Yeah.
Because I felt guilty if I had fun for myself, or I took time for myself.
Yeah.
So the whole concept of what I wanted to do felt like a luxury or not necessity.
Someone was on Instagram or Facebook, and they were railing against, like, it doesn't matter if the universe wants you to be happy. Who cares about happiness? Stop trying to say I want to do what makes me happy. What you need to focus on is doing what glorifies God. And what I have to say to that is, whatever makes you happy glorifies God. Like, you need to know that you are His happy place. And if you don't believe in a God, you need to know that you being you in the earth,
yes,
being you,
yes,
entirely you, the fullness of you,
right,
not just responsible
right,
you, and not the you stuck under the should or behind the barricade,
yeah,
but you being entirely you. But in Psalms, it says, delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Mm-hmm. Our delight, our being who we are, like, we are God's happy place. Yes. Like, the universe calls us to be fully ourselves. People are talking about manifesting, which is just a a non-faith word for faith and believing in what you hope for. Like, that's fine. Like, we're all saying the same thing. We're using different vocabulary. Yeah. Hop off of the happy. Because we are life givers. Yes. And we have to be life givers to one another. This barricade that you're talking about is this idea that I have to set aside my happy. I got to set aside my joy. I got to put
I thought,
right. I got to put that in this box over here, because if anyone saw me being happy, I wouldn't be being holy.
Yes.
But holy and happy are one and the same. Really, the richness of joy, that's ours. If we don't teach joy and happiness, everyone else in the world is going to. Case in point, pick up a Facebook post or an Instagram post. Like, we're all trying to say, is it okay for me to finally just be me
and to show up?
It's
funny, I actually had this sitting here on my desk. I'm like, wait, I read this morning.
I read this,
and we're just being able to just talk about it, because we think that we have to do something.
Yes,
we have to have a checklist. We have to have a merit system, and
to qualify,
right,
so that we can be worthy.
Yes, God just wants us to show up and be with Him, and like, that's all He's asking. He loves us so much. He just wants time with us.
Yeah.
And that's all that He wants.
Once we're seen, the next thing would be to find out that we're valued. And I think that a lot of people, when they meditate, they have to like throw off all the other echoes in the world. And sometimes I think that's a cleaner practice than even what we would call prayer, because in prayer a lot of times we're trying to like manipulate the cosmos to also listen to do our bidding, and we try to do better than that, but we're also not sometimes available to listen and experience.
Yes, because sometimes we'll still treat prayer like a checklist. If I just do it this way, if I say it hard enough or long enough. No.
How many books do you have on it?
Right.
I've read all the trainings.
Right. And again, sometimes the best thing the best thing we can do is be still.
Yeah.
Be quiet and listen.
Yeah.
And that is 100% not what is normal. And in our culture right now, it's fast paced. It's, coming out
loud. It's noisy.
Everything. Yeah. Yes. And so I think that that's so beautiful and can be so healing for us, because we do need to be still and we need to listen. And when we are, it's amazing. We can hear.
Yes.
And I think we all want that, but we can all be that for someone else too.
That is so you, Cherisse. Cherisse is like, whatever you're doing, how can you give this stuff to the community? You are my spirit animal.
I know, I love it. But, because it's like what we want, we know that someone else is asking for. So I know if I'm feeling it, someone else has to be.
Well, and that's the thing, like community, I say all the time, success is not me pushing you down and getting dollar. Mm-hmm. Success is when I lift you up and someone lifts them up and they lift you up and then they lift me up and we rise together.
Yeah.
And I am empowered just by hearing you and by letting me take off my makeup in front of you and all the things and just, be real.
Yeah.
Cherisse, how would you feel about maybe starting a podcast with me? I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like I talk about things all the time, but usually with young people, but I think you have a voice that wants to make space and share life.
Thank you.
And I think we could really talk to a lot of women.
Yeah.
Young women and older women and people who are trying to figure out if they want to be a woman. But which I sometimes go, why? It's like, so much harder over here. Yeah. I mean, I can't speak to being a man, but I can just say, this is hard.
It's a lot.
Like, I know. But like, would you share space with me like regularly?
Yeah.
Wait, y'all be up for that, right?
We can be, and then I might have to come.
Oh, yeah.
I have to come.
You have to come to Puerto Rico. Because I love that in my reset button, I got planted in paradise. And this project that
Yes.
I'm starting now
Mhm.
is terrifying because it's so huge. This house that I bought. Let me just be clear. This house is stunning, and it ain't got no doors on the first floor, so horses walk through my living room. It's a lot waiting to happen. It is way too big for my britches. I'm so outside of my pay grade, and we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to make a space for women to come.
Yeah.
And I would like to make a space for everyone in the community to be able to come to the table.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different conversation. And y'all, we're going to do this. Can we refresh, reset, restore? Can that be our thing?
Yes. Every day. I need to do that.
I love it. And we want to hear from you. We want to invite you, like whether you are a woman walking through a change or a season that's been difficult, or a trauma that you've overcome, or divorce, or childbirth. So I think there are a lot of people, and also the young women, and maybe men who are trying to figure out women. Like, I think there's room for voices, because like I think sometimes guys just don't know how to say I love you. And maybe the woman in your life doesn't need to hear words, but needs you to not put your boots on the table. So if you could say three things that all the people that you would want to say, these three things I want you to know that you want everyone to hear, what would the three things be?
I would say I would want you to know that you are seen, you are so loved, and you are valued. Because you are. If you are here and you are here on this earth, you are.
Yeah.
You are of value because you are here. This has just been on my heart. Like, we are healing our communities one friendship at a time, one relationship at a time, one gathering at a time. We have so much work to do, and we can all do it together.
And we can be who we are unapologetically. Yeah. Name, makeup, and everything. Yeah. Well, you have just shared in the very first unrehearsed, very first podcast of Refresh, Reset, Restore. And we invite you to the table and come and join with us. And you don't have to take off your makeup, but you dang sure can. And we will see you next time. So we'll put the schedule up. Check us out, abbyteal.com. So we'll see you. Thanks.